Hello, podcast listeners. We know podcasts are a great way to catch up on a program that you may have missed on KSJE, and it's provided as a free service of this radio station. But you know, KSJE is now listener-supported, and so while you enjoy this podcast, we hope that you'll also take some time to join KSJE. Become a member today. It's quite easy to do. Just go to our website at ksje.com/support and pick the level of support that best matches your budget. Thanks again for listening. Here's your podcast. Ten minutes past 8 o'clock. It is Thursday morning, the 28th day of May, 2026. Good morning, everyone. I'm Scott Michlin. Thanks for tuning in to KSJE 90.9 FM over the airwaves here in San Juan County, New Mexico. In Durango, Colorado, you can pick us up at 103.3 FM. And if you're listening to my voice anywhere else on planet Earth, you've gone to our website to tune in, streaming all the time from ksje.com, or maybe you're listening through the KSJE radio app, or maybe you've asked your smart speaker to play KSJE. However you got here, we're glad that you're here, everyone. Good morning. Welcome also to our viewers who are watching me right now. The video of this program is streaming out live to the KSJE Facebook page and also to our YouTube channel. Coming up in the next few moments, our guest this morning from the San Juan County Partnership. We are meeting the partnership's new Associate Director this morning. We will meet her and tell you all about her background and a little bit about the vision of the partnership now moving forward. So stay tuned for that coming up in the next few moments right here on KSJE. Next hour, of course, Mick Hess will take over the studio with classical music. It's our long-running program, Roving with the Arts, starting at 9:06 this morning on KSJE. A reminder, if you're a social media type person, you can also connect with KSJE on Instagram or Blue Sky or X, in addition to Facebook and YouTube. And if you're a podcast listening type person, and who isn't these days, you can check out and subscribe to KSJE podcasts. You'll find them wherever you listen to podcasts. So subscribe and maybe discover a new local program that you may have missed recently. We publish new podcasts almost every day. Also, you can check them out on the KSJE Radio app, which is available now at the App Store and Google Play. Podcasts are there. You can listen live and stay connected on the go this summer. So check it out and enjoy the KSJE Radio app. Outside our studios at San Juan College this morning, right now 54 degrees. We're expecting a mostly sunny day today, maybe a few clouds coming in this afternoon. 82 for a high in Farmington, 58, partly cloudy overnight tonight. Sunny tomorrow, a bit cooler, 77 for a high on Friday, 70 and sunshine on Saturday, back up to 78 on Sunday, 84 on Monday, mid-80s on Tuesday, and overnight lows in the 50s, right up to near 60 degrees. I'll be back with my guests from the San Juan County Partnership right after this on KSJE. KSJE is supported by San Juan Regional Medical Center. It's physician-led and supported by specialists, so patients can receive the treatment they need right here at home. When every minute matters, dedicated caregivers are here for you. San Juan Regional Medical Center, serving the Four Corners region for generations. Find out more at sanjuanregional.com.
Now back to Studio A and the award-winning Scott Michlin Morning Program on KSJE.
I'm back in the studio this morning with my guests, as I mentioned, from the San Juan County Partnership. Executive Director Anna Krutsky is here this morning. Good morning. Thank you for coming in.
Good morning, Scott. It's so great to be here.
It's good to have you here to introduce your newest, I think, employee at the partnership to the community and everybody else. And Selece Gathings is here this morning, the new Associate Director. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
And congratulations.
Thank you.
In your new position. It's great to have you here as well. I heard many good things about you from Anna, and I think she's very grateful to have you on board and to do a lot of exciting things with the partnership. And so as we start our conversation, I guess, Selece, tell us a little bit about maybe your background, because you're no stranger necessarily to this world of nonprofits and things like that. So give us a little bit about your resume, the short version.
Short version? Okay.
Yeah, please.
So I'm a former educator. So I spent my early 20s, most of my 20s as a teacher, and got into administration, was an academic coordinator, and I was fortunate enough to go around many counties in Texas and teach teachers and administrators, principals, how to integrate technology in classrooms. So it was a very fun time for me. Spent some time as an administrator.
Right. So I guess you're working with different audiences too in that kind of capacity, and different teachers, different personalities.
Yes. My favorite though is the children. I love young people. I do believe that they are our future. I love their energy, all of that. So
yeah.
Fast forward to moving to this area because I am from Dallas, and so I'm a transplant to Farmington, and I absolutely...
Well, people always say Farmington is the Dallas of New Mexico.
Oh.
You've not heard that?
I haven't heard it either.
Probably because I just made it up, so that's probably why you haven't heard of it. Sorry. But please go ahead. I keep interrupting you, and I apologize.
It's okay. The reason I'm here, we had an amazing opportunity through our wonderful family.
Wonderful.
We started a market garden and a nonprofit where we support food equity and feeding little people in the schools.
Gathings Gardens.
Gathings Gardens. Please follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
There you go.
That's my shameless plug.
That's all right.
But that is what I completely love to do that. And my husband has allowed me to also cultivate and be in the community and work with little people and children. And now I'm with the partnership where Anna has given me a lot of autonomy to look at the programs and the work that they're doing, but integrating and making sure that our youth are being advocated for, represented, and I'm super excited about it. It's been a wonderful 2-3 months.
Mm-hmm.
It's been
not too
great.
long, right?
Yeah, it's been wonderful.
But very good.
I'm very fortunate to be at the partnership. I love the team. I love the work that they're doing. I can't say I knew how much they did until I was in it, and I am on a day-to-day basis quite shocked at the impact and how hard those ladies work.
Right.
For our community. So.
Lots of impact, it seems to me, from having these conversations with the partnership each and every month. So I can definitely see that. Well, I think I know Anna's very grateful to find you and hire you, I think, and get some help because the partnership is growing and has been growing. Yes.
Right. So over the winter, my board really was pushing me to find somebody to help. And so I started to do a search for an associate director because I needed the support, and I really needed somebody who had strong understanding of youth, of nonprofits, and of our community. So, oh gosh, I think we had 5 or 6 applicants. We went through interview processes, and Selece was right at the top for everybody. We did pretty significant group interviews, and there was absolutely no question, unanimous, that Selece was going to be the perfect fit with her experience and her knowledge and love of working with kids. So the beginning of March, we started, and things are moving right now because of our continued growth and the partnership. Historically has really identified where are the gaps in the community that fit into what we are able to do around community wellness and prevention education efforts.
And that's really been the mission of the partnership from its inception, right?
From its inception, that's right. And we are 35 years this year.
Congratulations, right? Exciting.
Yeah, I keep forgetting to mention that.
Right.
But we are really, really continuing to recognize where those spots are, where the needs are. And it is really with our youth.
Mm-hmm.
Is the place that I felt and we have seen we needed more expertise and connections and knowledge. And Selece is bringing that to the table.
Very good.
So,
yeah. And, when you talk about prevention, of course, you kind of have to get into that mindset that this is an organization that works on preventing these societal issues and bad habits and all these other things before they become a problem, as opposed to some of the other things that we hear about that deals with the problems after they've already been happening, and these bad habits and these bad behaviors and stuff like that we hear about all the time, it seems, from
Exactly.
law enforcement and other programs that work very well, but they're dealing with the after effects, not trying to prevent these things from
Right.
happening. And that's the difference with what you all do to maybe what we hear about more frequently, maybe from the media.
Yeah. So when we think about prevention, we need to think about, we're really focusing on upstream ideas,
Sure.
working with kids. How do we start and educate and support people at the beginning of life so that they have less struggles and we reduce any sort of substance use issues, vaping issues, feeling connected to community. How do we support these kids from the very, very beginning through their life stream within our community to enhance their life and enhance the community as a whole? So
Right.
we've actually just started to work on applying for a bunch of grants that are really focused in that direction.
Okay. All right. So more to come, it sounds like,
There is
from
more to come,
the partnership.
absolutely.
But in the meantime, you already have, I think, a lot of grants that fund a lot of programs, which is what's funded a lot of your growth recently.
Yes.
With your programs and staff and things like that, and what gets you out into the community and working in partnership with the schools. I think they're an important partner with the work that you do.
They are a significant partner in the work that we do. We are doing a lot of prevention education directly in the schools right now, and we are doing a lot of research into how do we support the schools in being supportive of issues around substance use, vaping, and just general growth and making sure that kids are able to get to school, are staying in school, that they want to be there, that families are excited and are supported and feel connected to their school communities as well, because our schools are such an important hub. So with Selece's experience in the realm of schools and knowing our school systems really well, it has been we've really increased that partnership. And some of the projects that she's working on right now that through our current grant funding around supporting high-risk youth in prevention efforts that we have been funded from the state is part of that initiative.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Lisa, I want to ask you a little bit about that then and how that works, because sometimes we hear, maybe schools don't have the resources to catch every kid, or a kid is falling through the cracks, or they need some extra assistance, and if they maybe don't get it or they fall behind, then they get discouraged, and it's a kind of a snowball almost for some children, not all, but some. Is that some of the things that you are working on to identify?
Absolutely. I think we're thinking about the community wellness lens, and you're right, schools don't always have the staff, the capabilities to catch every kid, but as a community, if we are doing what we need to do, we can catch those babies before it's too late. And one of the things we are currently working on is developing a youth-led coalition. Some of the feedback we've received from kids, from our youth, are that, like, I would like a safe place to go and hang out, or I want to feel heard, or, there's nothing to do here. We want to go fishing. And so we are really sitting down as an organization and talking about what this could look like, timelines, and really wanting to provide a safe place for our youth to come together and talk about these issues so that we can catch them.
Right.
Yeah.
And is this something that you envision as maybe being county-wide as much as you
Yes,
can?
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not just centered maybe in Farmington or in the
no.
three cities.
No, we're going to build a coalition that will and we're in the planning phases right
Sure,
now,
right,
so
I
we don't
understand.
know exactly how this is going to look, if we're going to have one place where they're meeting, or if we're going to move that around the county. And we have put out a whole bunch of grants this spring. It is that season for us.
Right, right.
That are focusing more in the southern checkerboard part of our county to
Sure.
see if we can't spread some of the resources and really pull in some more of the youth and figure out what the needs are in
Right.
those regions.
Right.
So all the way out to the Arizona border and down to the McKinley border, and just kind of see how we can increase efforts in those regions, because Farmington does get the majority of the funding and the energy. So how can we spread that, and how can we figure out how do we how do we figure out what these kids are needing, you know, and how do we bring them into the conversation, and how do we help them feel empowered through this process. So we're in the planning phases right now, and we are definitely following our classic prevention framework, the strategic prevention framework, and doing some assessments and really strategizing.
Yeah.
What this is going to look like.
Got it.
And so part of that is bringing this youth coalition together to give us their perspective, and hopefully growing that and giving it some legs and some strength, so that that can influence younger kids. Because if you start with a group of kids, say 14 to 19 or so, you know, they are so much more likely to influence younger kids than the adults in their lives.
Right.
So that is our goal, is to really kind of build that and see what kind of influence that they can push.
Okay, I got it. And it seems like that's kind of the typical and very thoughtful look before you leap kind of process for nonprofits and others to say, we want to spend this money, we want to do this, but let's do it strategically and figure out how to do it the best way possible. And it seems like getting some of these youth to kind of lead kids by example is similar to what the You Matter kids do, and that program has been very successful.
Super successful.
Right.
That's exactly what we're looking at, is how do we amplify that even further? You know, how do we create more opportunity for youth?
And not just having a bunch of grown-ups in a room saying, here's what we want to do, or hello, fellow kids, I'm here to
tell you
relate
how to
with
live
you.
life.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think we're doing a lot of that out-of-the-box thinking, too, about how this could look. So really incorporating the arts in some of our programming, agriculture. So Anna's letting me bring my love for farming and kids, and making sure that we're providing a space for kids to do things like this and think about like workforce development.
Exactly. That is a significant component of this. How do we reach kids eventually, you know, through this planning process, who are at highest risk? The kiddos who are not going to school, the ones who are at risk of going into the juvenile justice system. You know, how do we support those kids in feeling connected? So arts and farming, digging in the dirt, getting out in nature, creating and feeling positive about what you have created in lots of different ways can make such a difference. In, you know, the earlier you start, the more likely you are to be successful.
Right. Sure. Well, and especially in the area that you're talking about, again, in the more non-urban areas of San Juan County, agriculture, I think, is a big family tradition.
It is.
And a lot of families have a connection to agriculture or farming or sheep herding or whatever the case may be in some of these communities. And so it makes sense that that would be maybe what you could focus on and attract kids and get them maybe excited and wanting to be engaged in what we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see how it evolves. And we're super excited.
Very cool. Very good. Well, that's one area that you're looking at. And so, Lisa, I guess there's some other things too. Are you looking at all programs at the partnership and just kind of to see kind of how they're working and how things are going? Is that part of your job description, I guess?
I believe so.
Other duties as assigned?
You know, I really just got in there.
Take a look.
Yes, but I am currently this week working with our housing department, just really understanding the policies and procedures and getting to know what that team really does and the impact in our county. I'm always just pleasantly shocked at, like, you know, what they do. I mean, yesterday I had a stack of just so many like rent checks that we take care of. You
send out for people.
I got to take it to the mailbox. I was probably too excited about it.
We put out about $100,000 a month in rental assistance. I know we've completely shifted gears.
Right, but this is another thing that this partnership does.
But and this is also prevention. This is preventing homelessness.
Right.
And if people are able to feel stable and safe within their housing, then they are more likely to be successful in life in general. So we do a lot of workforce development as well. But yes, getting that rent paid is significant.
And if there are kids in that family who are at risk of homelessness, that's another issue with the kids, right?
Yes, so families with children are the first on the list to always be accepted into housing.
Right,
so
sure.
we work really closely with the New Mexico Coalition to End Homelessness to get everybody scored, and then they identify who is in the highest need. They let us know who that is, because there are several organizations in the community that do these via surveys,
Right.
and score folks. And then they tell us, say, okay, this is the next person on the list. So we have used up all of our funding for this fiscal year, because our fiscal year ends June 30th. And actually, we've done a pretty good job. We had a little extra funding last year through Housing New Mexico programming that allowed us to serve more people. But I do believe that in July we will start to see, we will have new contracts coming in with new funding. Don't know exactly what that looks like yet.
Sure.
We're in the process of waiting to receive those contracts,
Right.
with those amounts, and then we will keep on moving through that.
Right. But again, every year it just is, as the money comes in, it almost goes out because you've
It
got a
does.
high demand for this assistance.
Extremely high demand. Yeah, we are definitely seeing an increase in housing insecurity. This is not a community-specific issue. This is a.
That's right.
This is a.
I think it's a nationwide
national
issue.
And San Juan County is doing an amazing job of looking into how do we address those issues. So we are working closely with them and continuing to support the individuals who are at the highest risk, who are literally sleeping on the streets right now, or in their cars.
Yeah, exactly.
Trying to get them stable.
And
Right, very important.
I've been working pretty closely with the school districts, so
Yes.
all of our liaisons that support our kids experiencing homelessness in the schools, Melody Velasquez, Paul Pavlik, within our county, Dr. Elfrida Harvey, collaborating with them, with our housing department,
Yes.
to make sure that our kids that are in schools that are identified as McKinney-Vento, we're also trying to support those programming too,
Right.
as well.
And that's a school program, I guess, right?
That
That
is a-
identifies
Yeah.
It is
kids
a
that are maybe at
federal-
risk or what have you.
Yeah,
right?
it
Correct?
is a it is a federal designation, and the schools have liaisons within each district that identifies who those kiddos are, and then we work closely with them to
Nice.
make sure that to try to find suitable housing.
Sure, exactly.
So
Well,
inventory is still the issue. So
Yeah.
right, exactly. So that's another important.
that is a whole nother topic.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And so, but that's also what's going on and part of the work that you do
It is.
in the community. So looking forward, I guess, into the future, what's the vision for the San Juan County partnership and with the work that you're doing? Is it kind of more of the same or more
It is.
into related areas? What are you thinking?
So it's a combination. So again, we identify, because we do a ton of data collection, as you know. We
I
talk
know,
a
I
lot
love it.
about data.
I get really nerd out on your website, your data website. I do.
Exactly. Yep, SanJuanCountyData.org. It's
Thank you.
still up to date and still has current data. We are looking at the state of nonprofits right now. So we have operated completely as a organization that is grant funded 100%. So we're expanding that. We are in the process of looking into becoming a Medicaid reimbursable organization to support our law enforcement assisted diversion programming, because that is becoming one of the areas that is most challenging to fund over the years, and I've had to piece together different funding sources to keep that going. But it is a niche that that we work really closely with law enforcement to work with the most challenging people in our community struggling with mental health issues, substance use issues, and housing insecurity. So it's intensive case management, and all of those referrals come through law enforcement because they may be overutilizing the emergency management systems currently.
Okay.
So we work with those folks to try to get them stable and supported. A lot of healthcare needs, so we get them to the doctors, and we definitely do some transportation with that to make sure that they are following through with any legal issues, medical issues, behavioral health needs in the community.
sounds like, as you say, it's pretty intense, and so it sounds like it almost has to be a one-to-one or
It is a one-to-one.
Case
Yes.
management type of
Yes.
situation. So that's
Yes.
expensive.
It's very expensive. I
right.
have 2 caseworkers and 1 supervisor for that program, and we have currently probably 100 to 120 referrals. And
Right.
I think we are engaged directly with about 48 individuals with that crew right now. So it's a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to sustain that, that's our movement. How do we diversify where funding is coming from in order to maintain this? So we are not going to go outside of that lane. There are other organizations within the community that are doing comprehensive community support services like Presbyterian Medical Services, Cottonwood Clinical Services, and a host of others, but those are the 2 biggies that are popping into my mind right now, that we work with them to identify which clients may not fit their programming, but we can support. So we are not interested in being competitive. We are interested in really where are the holes? You
Right.
know, where can we fill some gaps that fit within our mission that other people are unable to meet right now. So that's what we're looking at as we move forward.
Got you. Very good. And Selece, this is something that you'll be a part of, I'm sure, moving forward, working with the partnership.
That is those group of ladies that run that program. They're amazing. And yes, definitely part of it. But I think I'm not yet. I haven't made my way into truly understanding. I know the impact, but truly understanding, like, you know.
It's on your to-do list.
No, I think I'm Anna lets me, like, I'll just leave the room from certain
I
things.
think one of the things
Okay.
that's super fun about the 2 of us, that I come with such the visionary social work perspective,
Right.
and Selece is such the visionary education perspective, and I'm much more of an adult focused person. She's much more a youth focused person. So we're finding our balance with having a whole system approach to the life cycle.
Yeah.
And I think one of the grants that we're super excited about right now that I can't talk a lot about because we're really in the beginning phases is really focusing on that from the very beginning, from preschool, and you should talk a little bit about that, all the way through career development, you know, post high school, and what does that look like, and how do we tap into the resources and the things that are working really well within our community, and support those and increase those efforts, so that we continue to have people who are being born here, who are staying here, who are educated here, and who are wanting to stay after high school and continue their careers. And how do we support that development as this community evolves?
Right.
So
Very
super
good.
excited about that.
Very exciting. That sounds like a nice segue to you, Selece. Back to you a little bit about this this program, right?
It's
And these efforts.
It's a cradle to career, and it really encompasses my experience, and because I have done quite a bit of extensive work in this county with early childhood and early childhood development, and then all the way to workforce development, even here on the collegiate level. And so we are looking at expanding our community wellness to really looking at San Juan County stepping into spaces where we're supporting cradle to career initiatives, and I'm excited about it because it's something I'm very familiar with. I love, like I said, I love the kids because they're our future, and I think it would be a great project for us, and it will allow us to, like Anna said, really support this county from a community wholeness and wellness perspective, and hoping that we can keep some great people within our community, because we hear that a lot. You know, they come, they get their education, and then they leave, and so we really want our kids to love this place enough to stay.
Right. Well, and to have an opportunity
Yeah.
to
To
stay,
have
I guess, too, right? Is the other
Exactly.
part of that equation, right?
Yeah.
So that's a great thing. Well, very good. Well, we just have a couple of minutes remaining this morning, you two, to talk about the San Juan County Partnership and some of the things that you're looking forward to doing. And it sounds like, Anna, you're still looking at other opportunities, other grant
Always.
opportunities, of course. But there's so much that the partnership does. I know we only scratched the surface because there are just so many other programs. But we've talked about, again, you're working with children, you're working with adults. adults who are near homelessness or maybe close to experiencing, and all other folks, I think, in between. And that's what we're talking about.
Yeah. So collecting the data, understanding what the needs are, continuing to really support based on what we're seeing in the data that comes out. What are the needs of the community and how can we address those? Who's already doing it that we can support in really showing this growth? How can we do a better job of collecting outside of just, sort of the larger city areas? And what's next? How can we continue to support that growth? We have expanded our offices a little, so we have taken over Suite A in our building, so we have 4 suites now. So that's going to allow us to open up some office spaces.
Nice.
And I would not be surprised at all if we are looking at hiring a couple new people, maybe just part-time, but in the fall, as we see what kind of funding comes in to support those efforts.
Okay. Very exciting. Well, stay tuned, as we say in the radio business, and that's very exciting. And I just wanted to kind of end with a point that you definitely, with all the data that you collect, have been able to see some results.
Yes.
From all the work that you are
Yes.
doing. I mean, I remember having conversations with the San Juan County Partnership about drunk driving and,
Yes.
and that horrible scourge on the county. And not to
Yes.
say we don't have it anymore,
No.
but it certainly isn't at levels that we once had back in the 90s and 2000s. I just want to point that out to folks.
Yes,
that
the combination of prevention efforts and law enforcement efforts and community efforts have made a significant impact. And New Mexico is no longer the first in drunk driving.
Right.
I cannot remember where we are right now, but I just heard this stat the other day. So we are reducing those numbers. We are seeing less fatalities, less DUIs. And just healthier people.
Right.
It's super exciting.
Yeah.
And a huge reduction in youth drinking.
Right.
That is one of the other data points that I really get excited about. In general, the new generations coming up are just not overly imbibing and being dangerous like they used to.
Right, which is exciting. And
Super
you have
exciting.
the data to back that up, which is
We
also
sure
exciting
do.
to say. If someone says, prove it, you can.
We can.
Exactly, which is wonderful. Well, thank you both for coming in this morning. It's always great to visit and talk about the work that you do and share it with our audiences. So, Lisa, again, congratulations to you. Look forward to working with you and seeing the work that you do with the partnership. And Krutsky, always a pleasure. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much, Scott.
You're welcome. My guest this morning from the San Juan County Partnership with me here on KSJE. Did you enjoy that podcast? We hope that you did. And if you did, share it with your friends. And if you really want to keep podcasts like this coming, please support KSJE. You can do it easily online at ksje.com.